Welcome back to Knights of Last Call. I'm your game master, Derek Melenda, joined by the Knights of Last Call. It's been a while, but we're finally into our new studio. We still got a lot of building that we need to do, but we're set up and we're ready to go. We've got a whole new audio-visual setup, a brand new table, and we are completely ready to get into this thing. How's everybody feeling?
I'm happy to see everyone again.
Yeah.
Raring to go.
Yeah.
Been too long.
Absolutely. So, if there's any questions that you have about the new setup, feel free to drop a comment. Let us know. Obviously we're kind of getting used to this. Recording your game is already kind of weird, but a new setup makes it even more strange. So, new studio, new setup, and we're ready to get into the third chapter of the Rise of the Runelords adventure path, the Hook Mountain Massacre. But
spoiler alert.
Well, that's the name of the adventure. But before we get into that, there's a couple of housekeeping items. And the first is something I wanted to get out of the way right away. So Danny, who plays Villic, the monk, that's Bob's brother. Danny, as I'm sure you all know, is currently a member of the U.S. Army.
Yep.
And due to Danny's schedule in his deployment and his responsibilities as a member of the United States Army, his schedule is just going to be so crazy and chaotic and hectic over the next 3 to 6 months that Danny came to us and said, hey, I don't think it's going to be a possibility for me to join you guys on a regular basis. Maybe in the future I can join you. So for right now, Villic is going to temporarily retire.
Yeah.
Head back to Sandpoint.
Yeah, makes sense. He's from Sandpoint.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
Lord
He's like, I wasn't going to go all the way there.
Yeah. Now, especially now that the group is preparing to cross Varisia, Lord Villic was born and raised in Sandpoint. He only got involved with the Knights because of the threat, the immediate threat to Sandpoint. So this is a great opportunity for Danny to kind of gracefully exit as he continues to serve his country. And I mean, obviously he makes sacrifices every day, and having to bow out of a Pathfinder game or a Dungeons and Dragons game is probably one of the smaller sacrifices that we ask a soldier to make, but it certainly is one that we don't have to make. And so we're very, very thankful, very, very appreciative for Danny, his service, and for the service of all armed forces members who are doing the same. So thank you, Danny. And we look forward to, Danny rejoining us in the future, especially once he safely is done with his tour of duty and can rejoin us full-time in person. So again, Villic will, likely make an appearance in the future, as Danny may be able to join us here periodically, but just to make the story more consistent, to make the game more consistent, to make it easier on Danny and the group, Villic is going to be temporarily leaving. So that is number one out of the way. So number two is I wanted to do a quick recap for people who may be joining us. We've gained a lot of subscribers over the last few months, and thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Huge.
Zang.
Yeah. Huge thank you for everyone who's joined us, whether you're a new subscriber or an old subscriber. I did want to kind of go over 2 house rules that we use here at Knights of Last Call for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We've talked about these in past episodes, but, I think it bears repeating, and I think, we'll benefit from going through this. So house rule number 1 is that unlike in a standard Pathfinder 2 game, I award hero points for specific heroic actions or major plot accomplishments. And when I award them, I typically award them to the entire party at once. So unlike standard Pathfinder, where you start with 1 hero point and then you kind of gain them automatically, periodically as the session goes on, here I award them when someone does something awesome or heroic, or when the group accomplishes a major goal. So that's not that big of a change. But what is what the hero point can do. So in my game, a hero point can be spent to elevate the success condition of a D20 roll by 1 step. That means if you roll a D20 roll and you achieve a success, you can spend a hero point and turn that success into a critical success. And you can turn a failure into a success. You could also turn a critical failure into a failure. That doesn't really come up a whole lot, but
Or go the other way.
the other thing is if it is an enemy, say making a saving throw against one of your powers, say one of the spellcaster's spells, they can spend a hero point to reduce the enemy's saving throw by 1 step. That means that if, for example, if Burl throws a fireball and the enemy in question really needs to die because he has greater invisibility cast on him and he fails his reflex saving throw, Burl, Matt, can spend a hero point and the success condition becomes a critical failure and the guy takes double damage. So that's a big change. Hero points are very powerful in my game. And that's just so that the players have a lot of narrative control, and it's backed up. I don't have to fudge. I don't have to cheat. I can throw anything I want at this group because they can use those hero points to get themselves out of sticky situations. And if they're in a situation where they're like, nope, I don't want this. This is something my character would definitely do and succeed at. They can spend a hero point and make it happen.
Also, I think choosing whether to spend one or save it, and what happened if you guys go back a couple episodes and watch the ending of episode 19, I had saved mine for many episodes, not using them, and then really unleashed them all at once. And I became very heroic in that time.
Turn the tide of the battle there.
There we go.
The second house rule that we use here at Knights of Last Call is the resolve rule. This is a variant rule out of the Game Master's Guide, but we, of course, tweak it a little bit. And for those of you who aren't aware of that variant rule, it's pretty simple. Instead of having just one bank of full hit points, half of your hit points are hit points. They work much the same way. They recover through spells, through rest, through potions, through magical healing cure spells, or through the application of treat wounds via the medicine skill. But the first half of your hit points are now called stamina. And that represents your grit, your determination, your pluck, your luck. And those go away and come back much more easily. In fact, during combat or outside of combat, a hero can spend resolve points to recover all of their stamina. And that means that the heroes have sort of a way to sort of grit their teeth, steel their nerves, and get back into a fight quickly. Outside of combat, they can do this very easily. They can just spend one resolve point and gain back all of their stamina points with not any problem. But during combat, it takes one action and one resolve point to gain half of their stamina back. So if they want to gain back all of their stamina, they have to spend 2 actions and 2 points. Additionally, the spellcasters can use resolve points to recover spells. Now, this is a very, very, very variant rule that we're still experimenting with. And I may end up tweaking this a little bit as the group gets higher level. But essentially, the spellcasters can spend a resolve point to recover spell levels. Meaning, if Gwildor has cast his 4th level spell and his 3rd level spell, and he's really brought out all the big guns, but he's been doing a good job of managing his damage that he's been taking. He's been protected by Escanor, and Gwildor has played himself pretty defensively, as perhaps a wizard should. It means that he won't have had to have spent those resolve points recovering his stamina. So he's free to use them to get back some of those powerful spells so that he can continue to push on. The last element of this is that as the group makes good play decisions and pushes on in the face of adversity, well, their resolve intensifies. And so, as the group continues to make progress throughout an adventure, I will award them resolve points. In case you haven't figured it out, what this means is that if the group is playing well, making sound decisions, and doing the heroic thing, they can basically go forever. They never have to retreat. They never have to go back to town. They never have to set up camp. No, the adventure keeps going. The players keep driving, and the heroes never have to, go back to town to lick their wounds, but instead press on to victory, which I think we can all agree is pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
I love me an upward spiral.
I've had fun doing it.
That's correct. And I should also note that when the group plays extremely well and makes great decisions, the effect that Bob was talking about can occur where you can start to bank some of these hero points and resolve points so that you actually have 2 or 3 or 4. And so if you really get into a hairy situation, or I don't know, say you're fighting the secret mastermind lamia matriarch of a evil murderous cult who serves a nascent Runelord, you can, kill her in one round.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, sometimes
things happen.
These things do happen.
For play-by-play, refer to our last episode.
Yeah, I'll put the link here, about what happened last hour with the time code, so you can just go straight to it and then come back to this video. All right, so before we get into the new adventure, we got a beer of the week.
Ooh.
Our own local Great Lakes Brewing Company has a legendary series, and the legendary series is the Beer Wolf, and it is a Dunkelweizen, and it's an ale with chocolate, orange peel, and cold brew coffee. Now, I hate coffee beer, but this is actually quite tasty, and it's good, and it looks super badass.
It does. If I put this here, will this ruin Bob's shot?
Well, you don't have to do that because I always go online, find the image, and edit it out, and then
He
put
just
it in.
puts it in there.
Yeah.
He could also just
You would know that
if you watched
the episodes.
I don't got 3 hours. Where's those 20-minute video recaps? Where's those highlight videos?
Yeah, are you going to have the beer of the week in the highlight videos?
That was nice
that
and
was good.
slow.
That was pretty
It's-
satisfying.
The
very
new
nice.
mics are very nice.
Yeah, your game master
Absolutely.
is currently on keto and trying to lose this COVID weight, so he is not indulging in the beer.
It's oddly good for a coffee beer because I hate coffee beers.
I
But you
also
do-
hate coffee and chocolate beers, so this is going to be quite an experience.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
now remember, Tim, you only have to try it. So you can
That's
give us
right.
your opinion, and then you can go throw it away.
But at the same time, this does look like a badass ultimate werewolf,
Absolutely.
and
It's
I'm
got,
kind of
like,
into it. so-
chocolate and an orange sun behind it. I was like, the artwork was pretty well done for this.
Yep.
Yeah. If I could
That
just
sucks. That is your Gwildor / Tim opinion
Yeah.
on the beer wolf.
I mean, the can looks great.
You know what it tastes like, guys? Coffee and chocolate. So make sure you like that in your beers.
The can looks great. I just wish they could switch out the ingredients.
Yes.
Again, the
Art
other,
team,
I'm
10 out
sure-
of 10. Brewers,
the
3
other
out of 10.
beer I could have chose. Again, they have a couple legendary series ones as other great artwork, but it was like a double IPA with like 10% alcohol, and I was
Oh.
like, we've been getting a little tipsy. I'm gonna bring this back to a
At
nice
least
4%.
until we learn how to play again. So
Yes,
right.
yes.
I'm
So,
sure for those who appreciate the chocolatey sort of hops and
I
bars.
find this beer weirdly refreshing, and
I
I hate
actually enjoy
coffee.
it.
Yeah, I hate coffee. So
I'm not a coffee person myself, but this has a very good mixture of the coffee and the.
so
the
I
chocolate to
apologize, but
No, it's
I
it's all right.
don't.
Hey,
I think
I
it's
don't have to enjoy it for you to enjoy it.
That's true. So
that is very true. All right, so that's the beer of the week, and we've covered Danny and Villic as well as some of our house rules. So let's talk about where the Knights have been so far and where they're headed. Quickly, the Knights began several months ago on a small coastal village in Varisia known as Sandpoint. The group had gathered together through various means and ways, and there, during a Swallowtail festival meant to commemorate the launch of a new cathedral, the town was attacked by goblins. Chaos and hijinks ensued as the group fought off the goblin attack, but strange events followed afterwards, and the group began to investigate a series of rumors that perhaps the goblin attack was a prelude to something greater. As the group investigated further, they discovered that the goblins were part of a scheme by a former Asimar named Nualia. Once a member of the town, she had fled the town in order to seek her revenge against the people who had wronged her, and had turned her life over to the worship of Lamashtu, the mother of monsters. The group delved deep into the Cathedral of Wrath beneath Sandpoint, where they discovered, lumbering beneath the city streets for thousands of years, an ancient, powerful artifact of the ancient times of Thassalon, the ancient magical realm which once laid in this part of the world thousands of years ago before the events of the Earthfall. At that time, the country of Thassalon was divided into 7 warring states or nations, each one commanded by a powerful wizard or sorceress. These powerful casters were known as the Runelords, and each one encapsulated and embodied one of the 7 primal sins through which they drew their strength. Sandpoint, it turns out, was built over an ancient rune well of wrath. And several years prior to the Knights ever coming, that rune well had awakened. Something, somewhere in the world, had stirred to life. And in doing so, this rune well of anger and wrath had stirred. And in doing so, sent up through the meters and meters of ground a powerful pulse of hate and energy that found seed in Nualia's heart. And she turned to evil and swore revenge on the town. The group managed to defeat Nualia, as well as the demon that she was trying to unleash from its ancient captivity to bring Sandpoint to ruins. The group thought that perhaps this was all over, until a series of grisly murders started taking place in what became known as the Skin Saw murders. Several bodies were found throughout town with a strange 7-pointed star carved into their chest, the same 7-pointed star that they had found with Nualia, and the same 7-pointed star known as the Sihedron rune that the group had discovered was connected to that ancient nation of Thassalon and to those 7 Runelords of sin. The group followed the clues to find who or what was responsible for these murders. And as they did so, they fought off an entire pack of ghouls. For it turns out the culprit behind these murders was a former associate of the Knights, a nobleman by the name of Aldern Foxglove. As the group left Sandpoint to go investigate these murders and killings, they were joined by Escanor, a paladin of Iomede who had been cursed, or perhaps blessed, with visions of Varisia burning, and above it all, a 7-pointed star. driven by his goddess's holy vision, Escanor, joined the knights in a quest to stop this horrible fate from becoming them. Eventually, the group tracked these ghoulish attacks back to their source, Aldern Foxglove's haunted home known as the Misgivings. There, in the depths, they defeated Aldern Foxglove, but once again discovered that he was but working for a greater master by the name of Xanesha,
Xanesha.
Lady
Natalia was in
of
my
the
head.
Seven. The group traced her back to Magnimar, and once they reached Magnimar, were joined by a new ally, Gwildor, a dwarf wizard who was working for the Lord Mayor of Magnimar in order to track down who these killings who was behind these killings. The group tracked the cult of the Skinsaw through Magnimar, defeated its members, and finally found themselves in a face-to-face confrontation with Xanesha, a powerful lamia, half woman, half snake. They encountered her at the top of the Shadow Clock Tower, and there they did battle with her. Driven by his desperate need, Asius put her quickly to the Maul. However, with her death, it appears that she was not operating alone. She has a sister by the name of Lucrecia, who a letter says is currently in the remote outback village of Turtleback Ferry on the far side of Varisia. At the same time, the group prepares to make their journey to Turtleback Ferry. And they have spent several weeks in Magnimar preparing for the journey and readying themselves with new arms and new armor, magical items, and the like for their increasingly difficult journey. At the same time, the Lord Mayor of Magnimar approaches the group and has told them that they have received a missive from Turtleback Ferry.
A missive?
A message.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The Lord Mayor explains that about 100 years ago, Magnimar took over responsibility for the protection of Turtleback Ferry in exchange for taxes and trade, and installed an order there, an order by the name of the Order of the Black Arrow. This was an order built in order to defend the town as well as the surrounding regions from the attacks of giants. For Turtleback Ferry lies right on the edge. Turtleback Ferry lays right on the edge of the Varisian highlands, and there's sort of a big plateau area in Varisia to the east. And up in the plateau, that is the domain of the giants. So the Order of the Black Arrow is sort of a Night's Watch for, but instead of undead, it's versus giants.
I join them.
Yeah. It's just like, this is what we should be going to.
Ne'er-do-wells, criminals, the like, they can, take the black and they can go serve in black, in the Order of the Black Arrows.
I've sent many to the wall myself.
Yes. And I don't know how much of a Game of Thrones fan you are, but like Turtleback Ferry is kind of like Molestown, right? It's like this small backwater village that, the knights, or not the knights, but the Order of Black Arrow will sometimes, visit and go with. But it's been several weeks and they hadn't received a regular weekly check-in from any of the members of the Order of Black Arrows. The town sent a small group to go find out what happened, and that group never returned.
Oh, boy.
Of course not.
So the town dispatched a letter to the mayor and basically said, please help us. Now, the mayor, who you remember is kind of a jerk, normally he wouldn't care about this sort of thing. But since you guys are headed there anyways, he figured you guys, could kill two birds with one stone and do him a solid, right?
Mhm.
Now
Not
he
to
had-
mention I was fired after the killing of the magistrate.
Right.
I'm going to have to start my own order.
Now, the Lord Mayor is not without any sort of, compensation, and he awards you each 100 gold for you to travel across Varisia and to investigate what is going on at Turtleback Ferry. He doesn't think there's going to be much more to do than other than, maybe a simple problem, or maybe the Black Arrow just, went on a long range patrol and never returned. But he tells
Except
you,
for these giants that live really right.
but they've been there forever.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. In fact, actually,
Yeah, why is it all of a sudden they've stopped?
exactly.
Right?
Now, maybe the mayor doesn't know, but that secretly within Turtleback Ferry, there is another servant,
Yeah, Lucrecia's there.
Lucrecia, another servant.
Lucrecia, yeah.
Yeah, Lucrecia, another servant of the Runelord Karzoug, who you guys have been sort of, working against. So, and she was saying that, like her sister, she was saying that she had perfected the method of inscribing the 7-pointed star. So remember, it has to be carved into someone before they die, so that the greedy soul can go and power the Runelord so that he can return.
And that one's called what?
What's that?
The greed.
Karzoug.
Karzoug is
Yes.
and the other one's Lamashtu's Wrath.
Yes, and her name was Alaznist.
Oh. So what's Lamashtu?
Lamashtu is a goddess.
Oh, okay.
She is like a goddess of monsters and wrath.
That's right. She was the one with the scars.
Yeah, the scars on the belly.
Okay,
Yes.
now it's all
Yeah.
it's coming back to me.
Yep. And sort of, that starts, the spellcasters realize that there is definitely some sort of sense to that, right? Where, the greedy souls that are being killed, again, Karzoug was the Runelord of greed. So, which makes sense because Karzoug's capital city, known as Zin Shalast,
Oh, the Gold City?
was said to be plated in gold,
Well, that
Mm.
makes sense.
right? So, definitely for people who might be seeking Zin Shalast, the legend of Karzoug is very, very important and very relevant. But now it seems that Turtleback Ferry, it might be the site of something as well. Now, it's strange because, Magnimar is a city of thousands, tens of thousands, a big metropolitan city. Turtleback Ferry is like, 500-600 people. It's like Sandpoint size. It's a very small city. But her letter said that the quality of the greed would be A+.
Okay.
So on one hand, you have an operative of Karzoug, potentially another lamia, who is doing her work to prepare a town for looks like murder.
Yeah.
Right.
And then on the other hand, you have missing members of the order dedicated to defending the town from giants. So those are two reasons enough to journey there, and having them both seems like it would be pretty.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
The giants alone were reason enough for
I was
the
gonna say-
dwarves.
I was gonna say, as soon as you mentioned giants, both of them perked up and like, we're going.
Right. So as a reminder, Bob, Tim, what is your ancestral dwarf feat?
Vengeful hatred.
Vengeful hatred, and it is against giants.
Yeah,
that's
Which it was
correct.
funny that I did not know you took that as well. And yeah, we both hate giants, and we get +1 to our rolls.
No, it is a
damage
+1 circumstance bonus to our damage.
Or if someone crits us, we also get +1 towards that if they're not a giant.
Correct.
Yes.
And right here on the spot, you're going to see it live. So +1 damage is lame. So of course that's going to scale with the party.
Splendid.
I think it's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
I'm 3'3" and I'm not, afraid of giants.
That's correct.
Since your GM
But
can
do you have a
appropriate things.
vengeful hatred of them?
Yeah, they are.
So we will say that will scale up, and right now it is at +2.
Oh,
Excellent.
let me just get a little red mark here for my
Yep.
vengeful hatred. +2 circumstance bonus.
You got it. All right.
Now
And
that's only for giants, or do you want to do it for the
anybody.
critical?
anybody, just +2.
Okay,
If you're 19th level and your feat gives you +1 damage,
I hear you.
what are we doing?
It's
We're-
not, it's
we're
not
rolling
really,
these
you're not really that
D6s.
hatred.
You're like, well, no. At that
Does-
point, you'd be rolling 4d12.
It already is per weapon die.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So we have 2 weapon dice. So we would already be at a +2 damage.
I see.
So is
At
it
least
gonna-
that's what I have written down.
I'll tell you exactly what it does.
when we looked it up last time.
It says, choose a following. If you attack would deal more than 1 weapon die of damage, as in
Gotcha.
common, the bonus is equal to the number of weapon die or unarmed attack dice.
Okay.
So it does scale already.
It does scale already, but it doesn't scale enough. So it's going to be 2 per
Per
weapon
weapon
die.
die.
Oh my
Yes.
So it's
That-
basically 4 right
That's
now.
where I was hoping you were going with it. And also is why I brought it up. So I was like,
you
no,
can s-
Derek's going to make it better.
You could see Tim
Well
has played,
played, sir.
has played with Derek a long time.
I've
How
been
do-
around.
How does weapon die deal with spellcasters?
My spells and spell attacks will not gain any benefit from this. However, attacks with my short dwarven short bow will.
Right. Correct. Yes.
Oh,
But
sounds
yeah,
awesome.
that way it's +4 damage. It's not nothing, but it's put some stank on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like when the dwarves are fighting giants who they have sworn ancestral vengeance against.
Yeah,
I
Makes
want it.
sense.
I want it to hurt.
I literally took Giant Instinct because of
Yeah.
that reason.
Exactly.
As far as I'm
It's
concerned, there
racist.
was no other option for the dwarven ancestry.
All right. So
We all got against tall people.
Well, not you're short.
I'm the only tall one in the
Yeah,
group.
he's the tallest guy in the group.
To be fair, other things can be tall, such as aberrations, as long as they are not giants.
right, that is true.
It is not the size, but the race. We are racist
Yeah.
AF.
We are racist.
Yeah, I feel like they don't in the lore, right? They don't like dwarves, right? Isn't that we get attacked by them a lot? Isn't that what it is? Or they just don't like tall giants?
Well, historically, it's because giants have always lived in the remote, hilly and mountainous areas.
Same place.
And we
And
live
so-
in the
And you guys,
hilly
the dwarves,
mountainous
live in the hilly
areas.
mountains areas.
so there's lots of attacking.
There's a lot of animosity. And
Okay.
historically, if you go back into like older editions of Dungeons and Dragons, dwarves actually used to get bonuses to fight. Because you pick giants, but I think you can also pick like orcs and stuff like that. Any of the creatures that lived in the mountains basically fought with the dwarves.
Yeah, if
In the
dwarves were around
mountains.
now, they would have pickup trucks with those brass nuts. You know, that's what dwarves would have now. It's sort of that like
Checks out.
Yeah, truck nuts.
Oh, I hate those things.
They
Not
are
only-
very
stupid.
stupid.
Not only now, I'm sorry if you have them, but not only are they.
I'm not.
I
They're
just-
stupid.
I
You
just
should
think
remove
they're
them.
just- I just think they're gross.
If you have
Yeah.
them, comment below and also subscribe and like.
Yeah. And if you don't, do it too.
Comment below. Comment.
All right. Actually, that reminds me. We need to pick a winner.
We do.
Yes.
We will.
Okay, we'll do that after.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end of the thing. We'll have Tim, who's our resident comment picker.
Yes,
Whatever
indeed.
you wanna
Hooded
call it.
man, please show up, claim your prize.
That's
Yeah,
right. But
ready
we're
for
gonna
you.
we're gonna have a new giveaway winner at the end of this video. So we'll put something in there.
Yeah. And as always, follow us on the link trees in the description below. Follow us on IG and Twitter. There are also going to be other giveaways in there as well as other content that we're going to keep producing. And comment also if there are things you want to see. People have commented, loved all the comments in the giveaway videos, and we're going to keep giving you more content. And Derek's doing a great job. So let us know what you guys think.
You need to travel across Varisia to the remote outback town of Turtleback Ferry. So, knights, what do you guys do?
Did we ever return those
No, we
horses?
did. I was thinking
I
the same
knew that
thing. We
was
should have
coming.
kept my horse.
Derek, with this 100 gold,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I'm kind of curious, are there any rituals
I don't know.
that are similar to something like perhaps, say, teleport?
Ooh.
No, Gwildor, there is no ritual that can teleport you. As you kind of alluded to, there is the teleport spell.
Okay.
But the teleport spell is not something that you can currently cast, as teleport is a 6th level arcane spell, and you need to be level 11, of course. to
And there are
teleport.
no, spellcaster level checks as in previous editions to cast spells of higher level from a scroll.
No, in fact, there are no checks to cast spells from a higher level scroll in this edition.
Oh.
You can just kind of do it, I think.
If you find them.
But you have to be able to cast the spell, which you can't.
Gotcha.
That's how they get around that. But also, even if you
Right.
could, Magnimar caps out at level 10.
Okay.
So you
And
could
that,
not-
that was my other,
Yes.
that was my major concern anyway.
So,
It was
so
like,
you could not do that.
Yeah.
So
All
you're
right.
still stuck doing it the old-fashioned
Uh-huh.
way.
that's fair.
By the way, as it was alluded to, if you cast teleport as a level 6 spell, you will get you will appear from your intended distance at roughly 1% off from the total distance traveled.
Okay.
So if you teleported 500 miles, you would appear somewhere within 5 miles of your targeted destination.
Still not bad.
If you go to 7th level, but the range is only 100 miles.
Oh.
Okay.
At 7th level, a teleport of 7th level is 1,000 miles. At 8th level, it is the same planet. At 9th level,
It really
is,
jumped up a
at ninth
bit.
at 9th level, it is the same solar system.
Oh wow.
And at 10th level, it is the same galaxy.
All right. Well,
That's pretty cool, though.
I know
Gwildor
what
has
you're-
a new goal.
I was gonna say I know what you're picking in the future
It
here.
is to have 10th level teleport.
Yeah. But the cool thing is they did change it in Pathfinder 2nd edition where it's 10-minute casting time, 100 miles, but it's you and up to 4 targets touch.
There we go.
Ooh.
That's
So-
what you're talking about.
So, the 3rd edition you had to like teleport a bunch just to teleport your whole
Yeah.
party. So once you get it, but no,
But I think later editions after 3rd, like a lot of them have.
So how
the-
far is this place
multiple.
away?
that's a good question. Turtleback Ferry.
And I'm just guessing is the ferry because it's on a river and we can take a boat there.
So Turtleback Ferry is actually located on a lake,
Hmm.
but as you did mention, the lake itself is. So again, the purpose of this town is, Azius, make a society check and a recall knowledge check here.
And people looking at home, this is the first roll in the dice cam.
That's right.
Terrible roll. We got a 16.
Yeah, that's not great, but I mean, Turtleback Ferry isn't that. So you don't really know a whole lot about it. But what you do know about it is that basically it's a frontier town. There are a few people that live there, but mostly it's like hunters, trappers, fishermen that sort of live and work in the wild maybe for days or weeks at a time. Come back to town to hear a bunch of pelts and give me food and things that I might need, and then I go back into the wild. Now, the Yandabakari River, which is the river that flows through Magnimar, the one that you guys crossed when you went out to the sawmill, the Yandabakari River does wind its way through Varisia and eventually make its way back to Turtleback Ferry.
And do we assume that that's faster than land travel?
Oh yeah, always.
It would definitely be faster than walking.
Mhm. But horseback?
It might be about the same.
'Cause
But
I feel
without
like we
all-
could just rent some more horses and get there.
Well, at this point, you couldn't really rent horses.
We got to buy them again?
You got to buy them.
Why can't we rent them like we did in
That was an option at the Goblin Squash stables for the heroes of Sandpoint. You are not the heroes of Sandpoint.
How much?
Alright.
How much
They're
could a
10
horse
gold.
cost?
They're
$10.
$10. What dollars? It's a weird system here in Pathfinder.
Bananas, Michael.
Magnimar's trying a new thing for political reasons. They're trying to create their own currency.
Yeah,
and
they've
have it
expanded-
infiltrate
$1?
the rest of the world.
They
Yes,
expanded to the U.S. dollar. A lot of countries have done it.
that's right. It's part of that solar system we were talking about with the teleport spell.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. By land, the journey from Turtleback Ferry to Magnimar is a voyage of nearly 400 miles.
Wow.
Through the lightly patrolled rural terrain around the north bank of the Yondapakari River. By foot, this amounts to roughly a 2-week journey. On horseback, maybe a little bit more than a week. Alternatively, there are river barges and ferries that ply the Yondapakari River from Magnimar all the way to Turtleback Ferry.
But also about a week.
About a week, yeah.
It's up to you guys. I mean,
It's 10 gold for passage on the barge.
and
Yeah.
it's 10 gold for a horse.
I mean, taking a ferry, it's called the Turtleback Ferry. I
Yeah,
figure
but
we might
there's
as well.
upkeep with a horse. Once we get there, we
Sure.
have to board the horse
Or
and feed
slaughter
the
it.
You
horse,
could go relax on the ferry.
or turn the horse
On the
into
barge.
glue.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm all for relaxing, kicking my feet up.
Yeah.
I like the barge approach.
I don't
Plus,
know.
it always brings some fun water combat into the scenario.
There
Yeah,
you
I'd say
go.
Tom-
good old
Tom
Final
Sawyer.
I don't
Fantasy
know.
2 style.
Huckleberry
Dwarfs
Finn.
like horses anyway that much.
I don't think dwarves really like the water that much, though.
Fuck. Well, then I
Yeah,
don't
you don't
know.
like soap and water. You don't like to be clean, so you're gonna be like right.
I just
in
want the
middle of the boat.
middle room.
Well, I'm a dwarven wizard, so I'm already a
Well,
little against the cut.
To,
against
to
the
be
mold.
to be clear, this is a barge.
Oh,
There-
so it's like an open.
you're sleeping on the deck.
So you're getting washed if there's any kind of rain or anything.
maybe the water's kind of polluted. Kind of how I like it.
And Escanor, as you mentioned that, one of the talk of Magnimar recently has been sort of, you guys have been mostly buying new magical items and the like over the last couple of weeks. There's been a lot of talk. So Varisia is now moving into its winter season, and Varisia's climate is sort of more Mediterranean. It doesn't really snow that much except at higher elevations, but it's sort of the rainy season. So wintertime is when they get more rain.
Could I find a scroll of private sanctum in, and then I will spend 4 hours to scribe it to my spell book so that I can have a shelter to live within on this barge?
Perhaps.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the talk has been that the winter rains have come early and they've come hard.
Oh,
So everyone, not so much here down on the coast. Remember, you guys are all the way on the western coast. But as you move into central Varisia, where the kind of the monsoon comes in, the rains have come far earlier, and there's already been reports of rivers starting to swell and flood. They say it might be like the worst rain and flood that they've seen in 100 years.
So are you forcing us to take horseback?
Nope,
It is
absolutely
not.
not. I'm just saying.
This is
It's
kind of like
raining a
that
lot.
moment in Oregon Trail. Are you going to ford the river?
That's a good point.
Potentially lose some cattle? What are we doing here?
No,
No,
so you just
none of the
save-
captains are worried about managing the river.
Oh,
at
if
this
they're
point.
not worried, then I'm not worried.
it might expedite the process with the flow.
It's just one
if
of
we're
those
going
things
down-
where,
downriver.
it's like, okay, strange tidings,
Great.
Oh,
that kind of thing.
Well,
indeed.
part of me thinks I can sit in the middle of this barge, so I can't see the water as much.
Loose lips sink ships.
No,
So if people are giving away our
isn't that one of those commercials?
from World War II.
No,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
commercial.
loose lips sink ships.
There's a new commercial. Sorry.
Unfortunately, Tim, private sanctum, sensory stimuli do not penetrate, but that's it.
Well, I'm
You
bringing
still
a
get
tent.
wet. And
Still
you-
the elements. Well, I do have a staff of abjuration, which I believe has endure elements stored into it.
Well, again, I mean, the people who live on the barge also sleep on the deck. So,
Yes, but I'm clearly better than them, Derek.
all right,
Check
If
us
I
out.
can travel in style, I will. I became a wizard for a reason.
fair enough. All right, well, what do you guys want to do?
I'm kicking my feet up in the barge.
Yeah.
Well, so then you paid 10 gold.
10 gold.
Let's barge it up.
Barge it up.
That's 10 gold each.
Indeed, I am subtracting 10 gold.
You guys arrange passage on a barge known as the River Dolphin.
Love it.
No, it is an ungainly craft.
Oh. There's no dolphin maneuver here.
There's no dolphin.
It is the
maneuver.
barge maneuver.
You journey along the Yondabakari River into the heartland of Varisia. The coastal land, which is kind of swampy, low, grassy, quickly gives way into the more mountainous and forested region that most of Varisia is known for. And after a few days of travel, the barge, being plied upriver by polemen, because you're going against the flow here, so there's just a bunch of guys barging it up, carrying mostly just grain and other supplies into the heart of Varisia, where sort of the wild, untamed, almost Alaskan wilderness, where, you know, they're going to go with food and crops and flour and grain and return with, you know, ores and, precious metals and pelts and all the like. The terrain becomes dark and forested and mountainous and hilly and rainy. True to the reports that you heard in Magnimar, the rain is almost constant. In fact, after the second day, you haven't seen the sun since. Even when it's not raining, it's overcast and cloudy. Again, not that uncommon for a rainy season in Varisia, but this early and this intense is very much unusual. All right.
Well, no sun doesn't bother me, but the rain is a little annoying.
Yeah, it's just like Cleveland.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's good. Just
Yeah.
like Cleveland.
Yes.
Just like
Imagine
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Same old.
Yeah, imagine Cleveland in the winter and you're good.
And then you're on a boat.
Except instead of snow, it's
The good news is the
it's
river
rain.
here will not catch on fire, as far as I understand.
That's correct.
Theoretically.
Until you cast the non-flammable grease spell.
You know, we'll do that, Matt. We'll let you heighten grease.
Only if it's on a river.
It
No.
becomes flammable.
No.
Heightened fifth,
Like
now
like
flammable.
grease is like what, a level 1 spell.
Yeah.
So we'll make like a level 4 version of grease,
It is now flammable.
where it's like napalm.
Fire!
It's like super
Burns!
flammable.
Forever!
Just blasts into shock fire, and you can deforest the whole area.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
That's right.
All right. Unless there's any other issues, we'll say that after a few days of travel, which again seems to be mostly uneventful, you pull into the Clay Bottom Lake. The Yondabakari River opens up, and you guys slide out into a kind of muddy, silty, darkish lake known as the Clay Bottom Lake. And it's on the opposite side of this lake that Turtleback Ferry resides. Turtleback Ferry is a small township, more of a hovel village, perched on the rain-drenched north shore of Clay Bottom Lake. 3 distinctive ferries crafted from the shells of giant turtles, slain by Autric Lavendry, one of the town's founders, make Turtleback Ferry the central trading town for the region. Nearly 80 miles from the nearest real city of Ilsurian, the next town of any reasonable size. Turtleback Ferry has been under Magnimarian rule ostensibly for almost 50 years, and this arrangement has been made and agreed to return for protection from the region's ogres and ogre kin who dwell in the nearby mountains. Turtleback Ferry itself is perched right at the edge of the northern shore of the lake, where another river arrives called the Skull River, which journeys. It's a very fast moving river. No ferries can ply that. It's, in real life, it's not like downhill, but it runs up through the forest to the very edge. Remember, Varisia consists of lowlands, and then there's a big plateau that runs around around the entire interior of the country, and that's the highlands. And you're now right near the edge of the plateau. And up above on the plateau, there is a lake called the Storeville Deep. And it's held back by a dam, an ancient Thessalonian dam. So think like something that was built in the Roman times, but built in ancient Thessalon. So it's this massive ancient dam that holds back this lake. And then the water spills through.
Oh, we gonna break that shit.
And then down to the Turtleback Ferry. All right.
We'll figure that out.
So
We'll find a reason.
So
the barge makes its way across the lake and soon finds itself docked at the small, remote village. There's a couple of docks sticking out into the water, as well as the Skull River, which is nearby and flows up north to the Storeville Deep and to the Great Skull Dam. The town itself is probably no more than, several football fields kind of staggered together, maybe 4 or 5 of them kind of roughly sized together, with as many as maybe 50 buildings scattered throughout. As you make your way onto the dock and say your farewells to the barge master, you can see immediately in front of you is one of the ferry operators who operates the Turtleback Ferry, the turtle-shelled ferry boats, which cross the lake several times a day for the cost of a mere 2 copper per passenger. As you kind of look around, there's sort of a large, muddy central area. Muddy, of course, because the rains here have been nonstop. And if they were bad when your journey started, they are worse now. You can actually look over to the left and you can see that several of the docks aren't even like above the water line. They're actually starting to like be even with the water. And in some places, when like a wave comes by or something like that, it splashes up onto the top of the dock's surface. But there's
Is this normal for this region?
Again, there's floods. It happens, but
It's early.
it's early and it's concerning. And if it keeps up, it'll be very, very problematic.
So do we suspect foul play or just a bad year?
That's a good question. Make a nature check, Tim.
Very well.
Recall knowledge.
I will recall some knowledge. Unfortunately, I don't know shit about nature, but I did roll a 20. So that
If
is a
only it was
23.
on the dice
If
cam.
only it was on the dice cam.
There, if we pretend.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, twist that, Matt. We never. So we can see the
I
dice.
guess we don't actually know what it's aiming at.
That's the other wrong way. There you go.
There it is.
Oh,
Nat 20.
All right.
nice.
All right. So Tim,
Hey.
we were all like pointing.
I know. I'm like, is he gonna do it? No, he's not gonna do it.
All right. So what'd you get?
I got a 23.
All right, 23, and it's a
Nature is +3.
Correct, sir.
all right. Well, the good news is it's a success.
Splendid.
Yeah.
A 23 is a failure, but
Load a lot to the 20 on that.
That's right.
Mhm.
yeah. All right, Tim. This weather pattern is very unusual. The monsoon rains should be bringing most of the clouds and the rain and the storms from east to west. But instead, this seems to almost be emanating outward from central Varisia.
Oh,
In fact, I mean, we don't have satellite pictures here.
sure.
If this was like a weather radar satellite, you would almost see like the bands of rain and stuff were kind of emanating out from the central plateau.
How bad are the winds? Like, if I were to cast Fly on myself and fly up for a little bit with Endure Elements, like, could I get a bird's eye view of the situation of the storm and maybe where its central point is?
I mean, the
Or
storm
is that
is
far too high?
Yeah, the storm is regional. Yeah, you'd have to get way, way too high.
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
what I was figuring. But
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely unnatural.
okay.
You know, the rains themselves are natural, but there's something enhancing them, pushing them on, forcing them to become more, powerful.
Dark forces are at work here.
Yeah. Well,
And we have landed from the trip, or we're still.
yes, no, you have made landfall on the dock and ascend.
Stagger off.
You stagger off
Yeah,
after a week and change of driving on the barge.
After we get off, I drop down and kiss the ground, and then I say to Azius, "Do you think?" I read the description of the area. It said giant turtles. Do you think that means half giants, half turtles, or do you think that just means large
I
turtles?
just go to say.
Lucky gets off of the barge and like glares at you menacingly, and then he just like runs off into the woods. He's like, I gotta go somewhere and be a badger for a hot
I
minute.
need my safe place.
Yeah. Keep in mind that this badger is now like a bearger because
Yeah.
he's,
Yes.
It is so he is
Pretty
two.
well, he's the size of a grizzly bear.
He is two
makes
orders
sense.
of magnitude larger
Right.
than
Yes.
Love it.
than Burrow. So I could easily be trampled to death if I'm not paying attention.
There's a small sort of clear area in the town center where maybe they do market days or festivals or
Farmers
speeches.
market. Yeah.
But there's nothing here because
Oh.
it's, not the farmer's market day, but it is raining and it's miserable. And as you kind of look around, there's a bunch of small homes, more like hovels than anything. But as you kind of look around, it does seem like there is some sort of inn immediately off to your right with, unsurprisingly, a turtle shell hanging above the lintel of the doorway.
I'm sensing a theme.
But you also see another series of taverns, a general store, and even maybe a blacksmith shop. But you kind of look around. There does
General
seem to be
store.
a lot of taverns in this town and a lot of inns. But
Azius, you should feel at
but
home.
you
It's a bar crawl.
well, you expect it's because it's
The
right.
turtle-
It's a
turtleback
frontier
bar
town,
crawl.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of
blue collar workers.
a lot of guys just live out in the woods, come in here, trade their goods,
Have
get
a
some,
drink.
have some drinks, get a little rowdy, and then
We should find out what the best bar in town is.
So,
Indeed.
All right, that's the rest of the session. Let's
Yeah.
well,
Bar crawl.
you have
Oh, society.
well, no, not only that.
Oh, I
right?
have Hobnobber.
You have Hobnobber.
Yeah.
So now you guys have reached Turtleback Ferry. Outside of this sort of central square. So this is sort of for a town of 500 people. This is sort of the downtown, right? Any of the businesses that are more of like an inn or a tavern are basically near the ferries and are kind of built around this sort of clear open area where they would do festivals and where they would do markets. There are some winding dirt streets that kind of, crisscross through the town and head up, further off into the outskirts of the town. But those look to mostly be like small homes, small shops, mostly individuals, not so much businesses. So what would you guys like to do first now that you've reached Turtleback Ferry?
My first thought was find this place to stay.
Yeah.
The
What,
inn.
what time
Yeah.
of day is it?
We'll say it's a little bit past morning. You gotten in before noon, although you couldn't tell from the dark clouds and the driving sheets of rain.
Yeah,
and
give
what's
us a
the
place we can
duration
gather
of our
rain.
journey so far?
It's been about 8 days.
And
in
Yeah, let's get a good place to eat and a good sleep.
Yeah, I take a shit in
What?
peas.
Should shower shave?
Yeah.
The old shit
don't
shower,
shower.
shave.
you don't like soap.
No, not for me, but
You can just stand outside in the rain.
No,
get out of the rain.
Burl is very much about the hygiene. He's a 3 shower a day kind of fella.
I need to clean
Oh,
my
my.
plate mail. It's starting to get a little rusty.
All right. Well, what would you guys like to do?
going to the inn. What's the place I tell the crew?
Well, which
Do
inn?
we have? Yeah.
Oh,
how many?
I thought you
inns
said there
are
was
there?
one with a turtle shell.
I mean, that is the closest
That's
one.
one
It's
of
right
the
nearby.
inns.
Oh,
They
that's
have
the first
multiple
one I go
inns.
to.
All right. Well,
Do-
here you
Does
go.
anyone have Yelp on their? Pull that up. Which one of these are highest rated?
I mean,
Sort by rating.
I guess
descendant?
I guess I would ask.
Is it
the
rated by
ferryman,
number of turtle
Yeah.
shells?
What do you recommend?
Ugh.
Do you know the best inn in town and the best bar in town?
Well,
2 separate questions.
Yeah, they don't have to be
Uh,
the same thing.
the best inn that I like to stay at is just the one over yonder, the Turtle's Parlor. The innkeeper is a man by the name of Seston Orlandi, but I'd watch out for him. He's been in quite a foul mood ever since most of his business was trappers, hunters, and members orders of the Black Arrow. But the last couple of months, no trappers, no hunters, and then the last several weeks, no members of the Black Arrow. I think he's worried about business and profits.
What do you know about those? Have you heard anything about that?
Everyone in town's heard about it.
What's been going on? I've heard rumors back in
catch us up to
Magnimar.
speed.
Yeah,
We're
well,
on a goddamn boat for eight months.
the last time I was in town,
Days.
the last time I was in town was about 3 weeks ago. I had just done another round trip, and at that time, they just sent the first party out to search for to see if they could get contact with the members. The orders of Black Arrows, they have a fort north of the city along the Skull River. It's called Fort Rannoch. It was built by Magnimarian funds to sort of serve as a wall between
Indeed.
Turtleback Ferry and indeed, I would say all of Lower Varisia. The members there are a grim bunch, but they're not all so bad. I've shepherded a few of them up and down as they've come down to Magnimar in order to take new members who've taken the black.
Indeed.
Criminals, those exiled from the
Yeah, exactly.
society.
Anyways, but I guess it was probably about almost 6 weeks ago that none of the members came in for their usual stay, and then after about 2 weeks, people started to get worried, started talking. They sent an expedition party, and no one came back. I mean, the town's only a few hundred people, so when a couple of people go missing, it makes a big difference. More hunters and trappers have gone missing as well. I mean, these are dangerous lands, and these are hardy folk, but make no mistake, something's happening. They're really concerned. And then this ungodly rain.
I know. Don't tell me
Erastil,
about it.
please save us.
It is quite unnatural.
Yeah, well, I've been plying these lanes for 20 years. I can tell you this. The rivers, they'll flood. The lakes, they'll flood. But it's not those I'm worried about. It's up there.
Oh, the dam.
He points up, and even from this distance in Turtleback Ferry, you can see, even through the driving sheets of rain, in the far distance, It kind of looks like a dark wall. And again, remember, there's that huge plateau. It's like literally like an upthrust of earth that sort of defines the inner part of Varisia. And he's like, beyond lies the Storville Deep. Skull's Crossing. That dam is held for 2,000 years.
It's probably safe
But
though.
against rain like this, and the last couple of rainy seasons we've had, I don't know. I mean, they say it's made in ancient Thassalon, old time stuff. I hope it's good as strong as they say. This town would not survive that. He kind of goes, I'd say no town for 200 miles downriver would survive that.
Sounds risky. Have you thought about relocating?
Well, I live on a boat, so
Yeah, what's
So just
the
ride the
I
waves.
live
Some
on a
water
boat.
world
What's
bullshit
the-
right here.
what's the
Yeah,
place
just
in
like
Italy?
whatever.
Pompeii? Seems a little Pompeii-like.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move, not build right next to this volcano.
So
Damn Vesuvius.
So turtle parlor, huh?
yeah, Turtle's Parlor. But again,
Price is good.
it used to be. Again, times is tough.
You don't got no coupons. Coupons?
Coupons.
Koopa.
Not coupons, coupons. The
They got-
barge master kicks you off. He's like, my reaction is now I've gone from friendly to hostile.
Me and Derek got in about this over the weekend. Sorry, guys, at home.
You all got a easy pass for the ferry here. What do you do for
Yeah.
frequent travelers? You know?
We got 4 of us. Can we get a group discount?
We are now almost 1% of your population. Are we the top 1%? 4 out of 500.
As you guys are kind of talking, an old man missing several of his teeth,
Ah!
looking pretty
Ignore that guy. He's got no teeth.
and looking pretty beat. He's kind of down on the dock fishing, even in the rain, and he kind of overhears your conversation and he kind of goes, "That's not the flood you have to worry about, Sonny. It's the old Black Maga."
MAGA?
Maga?
M-A-G-A?
Yeah, Magga.
M-A-G-G-A.
Yes, Black Maga. The barge master kind of rolls his eyes and he goes, "Their local legend." "It's no legend. I seen her. I seen her up in the Storville Deep. There she waits, they say, deep in the lake, waiting to punish those of us who have not praised Erastil enough. They say that underwater tunnels connect the lake down here to Clay Bottom. That's where I seen her. A head like a dragon, a body like a kraken. She waits to consume this town and all of its sinful ways. Praise be Erastil. Save us from that horrible, horrible fate."
Sounds like
Sound-
it could be
Lucrecia.
Xanesha's sister.
Yeah,
Lucrecia.
that's exactly what it sounds like to me.
I think it's from Jaws.
Yeah.
That sounds.
All that
I
being
love a good
said,
conspiracy theory, though.
So Lucrecia, Xanesha's sister, would be like a
Lamia.
it'd be like an 8-foot tall lamia. This is
Yeah.
like a hundreds of foot
Oh.
long Loch Ness monster.
Okay.
Oh, perhaps a
Old
basilisk
Nessie?
of some sort.
No, hundreds of feet. Like he's
Oh.
talking about like a Loch Ness monster.
Like
Oh,
old
shit.
yeah, it's old Nessie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nessie was only
Yeah.
a story or so. Out of
In
the
fact,
river, 10
I'm
feet.
sure that's what happened to that barge a few weeks ago.
I thought everyone said the barges were safe.
Why are you sure that that's what happened?
Full of sinners it was. Sinners. Worship praise be to Erastil. They were all worshiping sin and devils and demons, all sorts of nonsense. And that's why Black Maga came up and consumed them. It's only by worshiping Erastil and staying faith and true that you can be protected from the horrors of Black Maga.
Well, that explains it.
The barge master turned and goes, "I assure you that the barges are safe. What this crazy man is talking about is a local tavern, or apparently maybe even a brothel. There was a barge, a pleasure barge, if you will.
Where
It went down.
specifically
Or
is the pleasure barge? Because that sounds like it's right on my speed.
Well, now, as I understand it now, it's at the bottom of Clay Bottom Lake.
Bummer.
I
It
got
was
some scuba
by the
equipment.
name of Paradise. It was
Of course.
a casino, a house of ill repute. if
Oh,
you will.
Oh, it
riverboat.
sounds a gambling
A
thing.
river-
That
yeah,
sounds
river-
right
like,
up
like,
your
like a riverboat.
Yeah, I've
Like-
got some scuba equipment.
caught fire and sunk
Huh.
with apparently no survivors about a month ago.
Population just keeps going down.
Yeah, well,
Black Maga can also light boats on fire?
It has a
that's-
head of a dragon.
he goes, "Never mind him. That's not what happened. Saw it, I did. Like a dark shape from underneath the water.
Was it the
Black
river?
Maga arose and snatched that boat down.
Oh Christ!
Why do you think there were no survivors? Why did no one just jump off the burning boat? Think about that.
Because there was a giant sea serpent trying to eat them.
Hey,
Why would
he
you jump
brings
in
us
the
some
water?
good
That's
points.
my point. It didn't burn and sink. It was consumed by the black maga.
This guy's
Unless-
speaking my language.
I
Unless
mean,
the
there are
river
two
was on
things that I
fire.
know about legends such as this. The first is that this man is absolutely telling the truth and is right. The second is that we need to stop hunting down women who just want to be left alone in the middle of the ocean.
Well, Clay Bottom Lake is like a mile across, so
All
it's,
right,
it's
well,
not a
you
big.
know.
It's not a big lake. It's only a few.
All right, maybe that is half on her. She
To,
should have been
to,
further
to clarify,
away.
it couldn't have been something where, like, say the river caught on fire. It couldn't have been something like that, right?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
no one's recorded anything of catching on fire.
So,
Throw that
so-
out of
so
there.
No
Clay
fourth
Bottom-
level grease.
No.
So Clay Bottom Lake is, you said, about a mile across.
Yeah, let me give you an information here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how deep is it? Because if he's claiming that this massive creature,
Oh, you know what? No, it's more than that.
Okay.
It's maybe about 10 or 15 miles wide,
okay,
and maybe about 20 miles.
Oh, pretty good
That's-
size.
yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
a-
good
that-
size.
that-
It is a
that's
big
a totally
size
different
lake.
ballgame
It is a
then.
big lake.
Okay,
I mean, it's no Great Lake.
right.
No.
You know what I mean? But it's reasonable.
Well, I just want to make sure, because if you're saying it's a mile wide, there's no way a massive creature of this size
Yeah,
is going to
no.
go unnoticed. Then,
Well, remember, he said
Mm.
that the creature actually lives in the Storval Deep, and that is like the above
in the
the
dam
above it, like the
what the
reservoir.
She
water
comes
is
through
the
the
reservoir.
tunnels
Okay.
or
And he said
something.
he goes, "Oh, there's tunnels that connect her to all these
Okay.
lakes."
Which,
So
again, probably
we-
speaking the
if
truth.
we had our
Hollow-
if we
Hollow
had our
World
cool
theory.
if we had our cool television monitors, I would
Right.
put up maps of the region. So
Mm.
we'll
Yeah.
get there. We'll get there, guys.
We'll get there, guys.
But for you guys at home, you guys are going to get to see cool regional maps. So you guys,
Yes.
Subscribe and like.
yeah, subscribe and like.
Enhance the experience.
Yes, digital enhancement.
Enhance.
CSI.
Anyways, if you're smart travelers, you'll make your way over to the Church of Erastil, offer up a prayer or two, maybe some tithe, and do your soul some good to get rid of some of that sin.
Well, we are smart travelers, so we should head to the church.
I'm also
praise
agnostic.
be a wrestle.
Indeed, praise be. Now, if you don't mind,
Blessed be the fruit?
I don't know. I have a decent religion. I figure I could just go with this.
well, if you need me, I'll be over there at Bottoms Up, having a drink.
All right.
Would
Well,
you say Bottoms Up's the best bar in town?
Yeah, I mean, quick detour.
Absolutely.
What kind of prices we talking about, you know?
Oh, come
I
on.
spend a lot on this ferry, right?
Who cares about the price?
Is Azius cheap too, Bob?
Oh, he is.
He asked you for coupons.
Bob,
yeah,
course
it's a
he is.
character Bob is playing. Of course it
yeah,
is cheap.
you know, Bob, role-playing
Even
game.
when going to drinking some ale.
I love the idea that role-playing games are an opportunity to like be like this thing that you can't. So it's like in real life, you're like, I work my 9 to 5, and you're like, no, now I wield fire, and I have mountains of, I have hammers, and I smash through mountains, and it's like, in real life, I gotta watch the penny. It's like,
It
oh, my
persists.
characters are really a cheap fucker too.
This is like his dream town. He can actually shop like 8 different taverns before he chooses which one to purchase at.
Yeah, don't you remember the horse ordeal and how
Yeah,
important
I
it
thought this
was?
writing character.
Hell, Bottoms Up is the best tavern in town for sure.
Love it.
and the cheapest.
Is it close to
There
the Turtles parlor?
It's right across the way.
Sounds like
Of
a plan.
course it is.
Book a room and go
Splendid.
get a drink.
All right.
A few rooms.
The barge master again bids you fond farewell and says that he'll be here for a few days, loading up the barge and then returning to Magnimar. But he'll be back in about 10 to 12 days after doing the round trip.
Best of luck on the river.
Indeed. But I will say this: if this rain keeps up, I won't be making the return journey, so you'll be stuck here.
Okay.
Noted.
Good luck, knights.
Thank you.
Well, how'd you know?
How'd I know what? Well, you're called the Knights of Last Call. You refer to yourself as a Knight.
This
Call.
guy Burrow keeps talking about us every time we go to.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You're level.
You are pretty flashy. I mean,
You're-
come on, you wear the
you're
the
level 8.
Sahedron on.
You're level 8. Well, no one knows what that means. So,
That's true.
but you are. You're also level 8 notable hero.
Very flashy.
Right. It'd be like if I don't know. It'd be like if LeBron James and a bunch of the other Lakers were somewhere, and it's like, wait, you were the Lakers? You guys are.
How'd you hear of the Lakers?
Yeah, you guys are.
You
How'd
have
you
a,
ever know?
you have
guys
a
seem very
bear-
tall.
what was it? A Berger? I mean, it kind of tends to be noticed.
I was just making sure he understood.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
We go
What-
to the inn.
yeah. So what would you guys like to do before we wrap up?
Make sure that we have stay,
Okay.
food.
All right. So where are you gonna head?
To the
to
Turtle
Turtle's
Parlor.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, you walk in from the drenching rain, and anything would seem inviting, but you can tell that this main
Got a
room,
fireplace.
there's not really much of a common room here. Maybe just a small little area where you could take some meals. But you can see that the fire that is burning has been kept purposely low.
How high are the ceilings?
What?
Just 8 feet.
Oh,
Yes. A man approaches from behind a small desk. Oh, hello, strangers. Welcome to the Turtle's Parlor.
Trappers and keepers.
What?
That's what they're missing. They said they're losing trappers and keepers in town. I figured
they're losing everyone, man.
Trappers
Trappers and keepers.
That's what I thought you said.
What?
What?
The
Trappers.
And
Yeah,
hunters.
What the hell is a keeper?
I don't know. I can't remember what I
Trappers
said.
and hunters,
So,
man.
Hunters, trappers, and
He goes,
hunters.
he goes, but it's 1996 and my 5th grader is starting school.
right.
It's a trapper.
Five-star.
Trapper keeper 5-star.
Oh, big money 5-star. over here. Wow, shit.
You get the unicorn print on
here
your
with
This
that.
big generic brand, motherfucker.
Look at those Windows 95 graphics, man. 3D rendering is off the.
I love how Matt's like he's recording his rap album. He's like, let me get on this mic 1, 2.
The system is down.
Yeah.
The
Adds to the
system
ambiance.
is down.
Tim has this great voice behind the mic. I feel like I've got to.
No. You're just hearing your voice. Trust me. You sound great. You sound great. I mean, we can really up you, but remember the thing is, when you get that close to the mic, you can get plosivy, and it can be real, and it can get pretty loud.
Just talk. Oh, we got you. You sound great.
So don't do that.
It sounds so good.
Okay. All right. So,
Also, that puts moisture into the mic. And,
oh, jeez Louise, man. Brand new mics.
all right. The man comes up very excitedly. He goes, "Strangers, just arrived on the barge, then."
Yes.
He kind of looks around. And he goes, "Oh, adventurers?
Come for a good fire. Why is this fire so low?
Yeah.
Yeah. About that, business has been pretty bad. The winter season is usually a high point. A lot of the trappers come in from the hills and the mountainsides to stay out during the rainy season, and they
And what of the keepers?
the keepers. I haven't seen anything from them.
So few have.
So few have. The last time I saw them, they were a bunch of 3D squiggly lines and circular
I
spherical.
saw it was a digital donut. It looked
digital
so good.
donut?
It was so real.
If you crossed your eyes, it looked like it popped right off the screen.
A schooner is a sailboat.
You move to the left
Trappers
and the
and
right,
hunters.
and it changed image.
Oh, hunters. Yeah, no, those have been real bad too. No, it's been real bad. I usually get kept afloat. At least a few members of the Black Arrows come in a week just to trade goods, stay in town for a few days to part of their shore leave. But then it's the hunters and the trappers who really have kept me going, especially during this rainy season. But between the deaths and the missings, everyone going missing,
What's going on with this? I keep hearing about this.
It's just bad times, that's all.
Just bad times.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a ghoul again.
You mentioned deaths. Deaths were never mentioned before. It was
Well,
always
there-
people missing.
No, there's
Yeah.
always been deaths. I mean, the Order of Black Arrows are pretty good at what they do, but don't get me wrong. This is a hostile land. You've got up there near Storeville Deep. Well, that's Hook Mountain up there. Hook Mountain is probably one of the most dangerous regions in all of Varisia. Home to the legendary Grawl clan and the Kriegs. Yes, the Grauls. A band of ogres. Actually, they're not even ogres. They're ogre kin. And that's part ogre, part human.
Okay.
Yes. Again, their ogres are a foul, cruel bunch. And the Kriegs, that's the biggest ogre clan in the whole region. The Kriegs are the ones who've battled with the Black Arrows for the last 20, 30 years. Now the Kriegs, the Kriegs live up in Hook Mountain. But the Grauls, they say that their homestead is not too far from Turtleback Ferry. But they're a quiet and secretive bunch. A bunch of degenerate cannibals and crazed hunters. A whole family of inbred, half-bred ogrekin. Now, for years, they've hunted the Krieg Wood and the nearby passes and mountain passes. And if it wasn't a Krieg ogre or a Grawl ogrekin that got you, it could just be a wyvern or a basilisk. These are wild lands. And there's plenty of ways for folk to die outside of just, tripping and falling and breaking your ankle and dying. Still, the number that has increased and the number of people missing, that's gotten people really scared and secure. Anybody who is a temporary visitor has left over the last couple of weeks on any of the few barges that have returned, and several of the barge masters have said that they won't be returning until this crazy weather stops and or, the situation calms down. And then our mayor, who's also our priest, Mayor Shreed, Shreed, Shreed sent a request with the last barge, asking for help from Magnimar. I'm hoping you're it.
Indeed we are.
Well, my advice would be that you definitely should go talk to Shreed then. He'll want to talk to you about it. But again, it's a small town. There's not much to keep track of. So we all know the situation we're in. Bad times. Paradise sinking, the deaths, the missing, and now quiet. No word from Fort Rannoch, and our expedition that we sent up there has not returned. It's crazy.
Where might we find Shreed?
Shreed can be found a little bit further into town at the Church of Erastil, which is located down past the docks near the edge of both the lake and the river.
Did we already meet him at the dock fishing? Is that who that guy was?
No.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
No. Malin is a good man, and he will treat you well. He was elected properly and has been served as a good mayor and pastor for this small town. But between everything that's been happening, it's starting to push him to his edge.
Indeed.
Well, yes, about those rooms. I hate to do this. It's going to be 5 gold.
I ain't doubling up. my own
5
room.
gold.
Yeah.
This,
Quildor looks around the establishment.
when you say 5 gold, does that come with a meal and some more logs on the
Condescendingly.
fire?
No meals. I don't really have a kitchen.
Where do I get food in this place?
I mean, you could try next door. Bottoms up. That's the tavern.
Bottoms up, bottoms up.
Do you have room for a large badger?
Berger.
No.
Can we get more logs in the fire if we buy these rooms?
Well, I can throw a few more logs on the fire, but the rooms don't really have a fireplace.
I mean, I don't even know what I'm paying for.
I mean, to not sleep in the rain.
Can I sleep in the bar next door?
I mean, you could talk. You could talk to the Keskers and see what they say.
Pretty steep. What do you think, Goldor?
I mean, that's probably about 10 times what you should be paying.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
gosh.
absurd.
That's absurd.
All right, let's murder him
Oh my god!
and take the establishment.
Don't mind Burl. Do not mind Burl here.
Hard pass.
Yeah, the
Burl.
The paladin will sure as hell not let you do that.
Gwildor is also a man of the law.
Burl, how much would we save if we did that?
Yeah, so again, these are
Just some
outrageous
calculations.
Yes, that's insane.
I'd like to make an intimidation check.
Okay.
And tell him how familiar I am with the region, which is a bluff. But intimidate him nonetheless.
Well, are you trying to deceive him or are you trying to actually intimidate him?
Intimidate him to give us. I'm sorry, sir.
A better deal, I guess.
1/4 of what I said. Was,
So what are you saying to him specifically that is intimidating? What is the threat? What is
I-
the implication of violence?
I'm gonna kill you if you don't.
Oh
no,
man,
dude.
that's
No.
pretty hardcore.
Wow.
He's a little strong.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Okay.
Oh
Wait,
my-
wait. Before what is the
He can-
innkeeper?
I'm-
Is he
I'm
just
not-
a human being?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a human.
So
I'm not
keep
seriously going to kill him. I'm just saying that I am going to kill him if he doesn't give us a reduced rate. But if he says no, idiot, then I'm like, all right.
Are you
fine.
overtly saying that you're killing him or is it subtle?
vague
Okay.
threats about?
Oh, more like
it'd be a
things might
shame.
happen
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
not,
Be
you might
a
not
shame
be
if
the
he's-
only one missing.
Prices. Yeah.
All right.
You're the only one missing. Oh my gosh.
Cocked.
That's cocked.
Oh my
Reroll.
God. Who made these Pentagon things? Oh, I thought it was gonna be a 20.
Yeah, that was gonna be a
29.
14 still a good roll.
All right, well, a 29 is a critical.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
So
I've seen some rooms down the street that were much cheaper, and they looked a lot better, and they all had their own fireplace.
Oh my.
well, that sounds more like a diplomacy check.
And I would kill you if.
There's the intimidation
It's more like,
factor.
can you reduce your
My-
prices?
All
My
right, well,
diplomacy is -1,
All right,
so if
so-
we want to take one out,
Yeah,
it'd
so
be
your
diplomacy
so your coerced check is successful, and he will follow your directives as long as you aren't likely to harm him in either way. Now, keep in mind, he will continue to comply, but he will become unfriendly towards you. In other words, now that you've threatened to kill him, he will follow to what you're doing, but in future dealings, he will be considered unfriendly.
Can
towards
we
you.
retroactively move that to a diplomacy? It's one less than my intimidates. It's all
Oh, you
the
mean
same.
so instead of coercing him, you'd like to make a request?
Yeah, I saw some rooms down the street that were much cheaper, and I mean you no harm. I'm just pointing out something I noticed.
All right. Well, in that case, your critical success is he agrees to your request without any further qualifications.
Thank
he goes, all right, it's fine. Listen, it's just going to be pretty rough, okay? I can do 1 gold a day.
Yeah, but what about
Deal.
What about the fireplace in case I come down for a drink?
Well, he can't magically add a
So
fireplace.
that's
What do
only
you want?
double what we should be paying. So
Right.
that's-
I'm more
It
egregious.
times are tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
Please.
give him double for times are tough.
I was gonna say 10
Yeah.
times as much
Yeah.
versus double.
I'll give him a gold a day.
And
Yes.
I'll tell you what, if you pay in advance, I'll go see about acquiring some new bedding and a few more
I'll
logs
give
for
him
the
a
man.
10 gold.
All right, 10 gold.
And yeah, that's for all of us.
No,
Oh.
that was for me.
All right, you pay 10 gold in advance for basically a 10-day stay.
A 7-day stay with a real nice room.
Oh, well,
I'm tipping him.
Ooh, he's trying to upgrade.
I'm tipping him a little bit.
all right, he gives you his room.
Wow, that's really nice.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, I pay for 1 day and hope that I can stay for 7.
Yeah, I'm on that. I'm on that.
No, I pay the 10 gold.
No, I pay 1 gold.
Okay, great.
10 as well.
All right. Well, the man now is very flush with cash, and he goes, "You just saved the whole season.
Good.
My wife won't leave me. My kids won't starve. Ah."
It should have been cheaper.
Are you going to intimidate him now?
Please, sir, don't.
I'm gonna crack.
Sorry, I'm a little rusty with my charisma actions. I
Right.
apologize.
You're like, I'm sorry. They both said charisma. I just thought intimidation. I
I
saw
looked down,
intimidation. I
you
looked down. I thought I meant to be diplomacy. I'm sorry.
See,
All right.
this is why you have to be able to cast create food in order to use a wand of create food, because otherwise I would make this man a wand of create food.
Right. Okay. Well, the rooms have been acquired at the Turtle's Parlor, and you guys now have lodging out of the rain. So, what would you like to do next?
It's food.
I would like to do some divination and scouting
Oh,
on various parts of the town.
Okay. You guys want to get some food?
well, and also talk to crazy old Ed over there.
Crazy. Oh, yes.
Whatever. It's the
He did not give you a
Toothless
name, but-
Joe Jackson.
Goldor
And
will just
he
cast
was-
create food in his room and eat that.
He's
Right.
eating in.
Makes sense.
Very.
I'd
very
like to-
utilitarian. Is that a spell?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Is it arcane?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It is indeed.
They changed that.
What kind
up,
of food you
Yeah.
making over there?
My guess is it's very
I
bland.
mean, it's
and
pretty basic, bland shit. But I
Oh,
can feed
okay.
up to 6 people, man. I'm surprised, like, you're not all on the train, you cheap bastard.
No, I'm not. I'm not a cheap
Making some
bastard.
protein and carbohydrates
Yeah.
over there.
Easy
like
to
no-
be on board, but
because
I'm
1
going to
hour,
a fancy restaurant.
You create
'cause
enough food. The food is bland and unappealing.
No, I need
Okay.
something tasty. I'm going out.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going to
I
the inn
don't
next
give a shit
door.
about that.
I saved a bunch of gold by not
Yeah,
giving
here it
them
is.
all 10 at first.
All right. So, Gwildor, you stay behind to create food in your own bedroom and eat it
Correct.
magically, while the rest of you go next door to bottoms up.
Mm.
All right. You come in, and it's a pretty somber space, but there's a long bar, but you see that behind it is almost like the bar is, human sized, but there's almost like a stage behind it where, like, it's not the same height on both sides of the bar. On the back
Shit,
side of the
I
bar,
can't see.
no. On the backside of the bar, it's like there's like a 3-foot platform. And as you look, you can see a pair of halflings who walk back and forth along this kind of like lip so that they can serve at the bar.
Oh, they're the bartenders.
Yeah, they're
Oh.
the owners.
Oh, is our buddy here?
Yep, he's there at the end of the table drinking.
Hey!
As well as you see that there's 2 men, pretty rugged. One looks like he's maybe half elven, and another one looks human, and they seem to be deep into their cups. 2 halflings, a male and a female, see you come in, and the male looks over. He goes, "Oh, visitors, come on in. Get out of the rain and pull up a seat.
For sure, do
Gladly.
that.
My name is Yads Kesker, and this is my wife, Bethany. We run bottoms up. Indeed, bottoms up. What can I get you?
Biggest glass of ale.
Oh, what kind? We've got lots.
What do you recommend for a stout dwarf such as myself?
Well, for the dwarves, I really recommend a nice cold mountain brew. It comes some expense, but we import it locally, and we've got a few casks.
Well, there's one thing I don't cheap out on is my beer. I'll
well.
get one of those.
Great. It'll be 1 silver.
Alrighty.
All right, I'll go pour him. She comes back and puts out a big big ale. What is it called?
Mug.
Mog. I was trying to say
A
mug.
stein?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Let's go with the
That's
stein.
stein.
Classy.
She puts out a big sign. Dwarven made, as I understand.
Looks. Do I know?
Looks legit.
that?
Yeah, I mean,
You are an excellent craftsman, so you would know.
Oh yeah, that's what I was asking. Oh, this
Yeah, it's good.
fantastic.
Well,
Feels like home.
well, thank you so much. We try so hard. Yeah. Well, things have been pretty rough, but here at Bottoms Up, we, things have been looking tough actually.
How so?
Well, it's good. Another stein for my human friend and myself.
Oh, I see. Do you guys want the cold dwarven mountain ale as well?
Let's try it.
It's actually pretty
Absolutely.
tasty.
Bethany, make it another 2. Right away, dear. I don't want to sound like a jerk, and you guys are obviously new to town, so I don't want you to get the wrong idea. But you see, there was a little accident a few weeks ago out on the lake, and there was a sort of a floating casino, tavern, barge, pleasure cruise craft called the Paradise.
We've heard of it.
Yeah, well, it kind of killed my business.
How so?
No one came in here. They all went out there.
Some of my friends are here already.
Well, that thing sank. So now everyone comes back here. And, well, things have been pretty rough. And, this town has a lot of alcoholics. So, there's that.
Well, I'm sure you're glad to see us then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, great. I mean, number one, you look like you're travelers, adventurers, noblemen, something. And that usually means you have gold and silver to spend. And that always is good for me. And secondly, you guys look like you also may be alcoholics. So that is also.
Also hungry.
Yeah.
Oh.
we can
And
be
something a little
one
more than
thing.
bland.
Well, what do we have going on, dear? Well, let's see. I'm making some roasted pheasant, as well as we have some nice potatoes and a bed of steamed greens that we've been cooking over the fire all day. Nice hearty stew as well, if you'd like one of those. Now, it's nothing fancy like down in Magnimar, but this is just good old-fashioned halfling cooking.
Gosh, that
No,
sounds
we'll-
delicious.
Yeah, we'll take 4 orders.
Much better than that tofu that what's-his-face was serving back at the inn.
Yeah.
the curry.
Gwildor.
Tofu. Yeah.
No.
Unflavored tofu. It's just
You eat the bland stuff.
someone's just
They
like
don't know about all the spices I have in my bag of holding.
All right, well, I'll go and get some from the kitchen. Now, Yads, you mind your tongue. Don't listen to him. We're very sad about all the recent events, and the Paradise sinking was a very tragic thing. Over 24 people lost their lives, including the proprietor, who, while we did not wish her the worst, I felt like Lucrecia and her gang were a bad influence on the town. So I don't.
Wait. Let me just
Lucrecia
stop
was the
you
owner?
there. Lucrecia's the owner of the barge?
Yes. She came into town, I don't know, maybe about 2 years ago. She bought this old barge. She retrofitted it, spent a ton of gold, turning it into this fabulous gambling hall and tavern. And between you and me, brothel, quite the den of sin. And you can, as she's kind of talking, you can see that like one of the men not the old man, but one of the hunters that's kind of at the bar seems to kind of look a little uncomfortable as she's talking. It seems like he's kind of maybe like avoiding eye contact, keeping his gaze down low.
Like he's partaked in the
Like he
endeavors
maybe has
there.
partook.
So
You seem like you've had some experience there.
What? Mind your own damn business.
Oh, sorry, sir. You said Lucrecia went down with the barge?
Oh, yes. Everyone died as far as I know.
As far as you know, she was on there.
Oh, yes. She was the maitre d', the hostess.
And this Black Maga?
Black Maga.
Maga.
I mean, we're not from this town originally, so I don't put any stock in those stories. But, this is an old part of the world, and there are strange things in the deep, as they say. But I don't put any stock in it. No, that place was not up to code. I mean, as for what sank it, according to the people who saw it go down, they say that it sank in the night. I personally think it was a fire, got out of control. I mean, the debauchery on that place was pretty legendary. Again, the guy kind of like looks down into his cup, and like shields his eyes.
You, sir, tell us more. You seem like you have something to say, or
I don't have
you wish
anything
to
to say.
hide of what you say.
I don't have anything to say to you. Leave me to my cups, and I'll leave you to yours.
I'd like to cast fear on this gentleman.
Jeez.
Well, I want to get. I want
He's
to
going hardcore now, man. I'm just saying. Holy smokes.
Now remember, the fear spell itself will not. It'll make him frightened, but you'll still
yeah.
need to intimidate him.
I was like, he'll still run.
I guess I'll just do
So
Intimidation? Okay. Yeah, go for it, man.
Stout gnome walks up. Excuse me, sir.
25.
Wow. Pretty decent.
All right.
It's on.
Okay, good.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Well, I might have to change the zoom a little bit, but
Oh, okay.
all right, 25, Matt. Well, that is successful. He's like, listen, hey, listen. Leave me alone, okay? Listen, okay, I went to the paradise a handful of times, all right? It's my right. I'm a grown man. I can do whatever I want. It's my coin and my gold. Things got a little crazy there, I'll admit, but, whatever.
Go on.
What do you mean, go on?
can you describe the owner of the establishment?
Who, Lucrecia?
Yes.
Anyone in town could.
Where'd she? Do you know where
She
she
was,
lived?
Well, to be quite frank, she's a gorgeous woman. Large breasts, wearing her tight corsets, her elaborate gowns, that mane of fiery red hair, like the female halfling Berthandy was kind of shaking her head. She goes, "Yes, that's Strumpet, rolling up around this town like a harlot, flaunting her wares everywhere, and bringing in poor fools like you. It's one thing to spend a few coin in the cups. It's another thing to lose your entire life savings to a night of dice and other games of chance. She also brought in all sorts of undesirables. The brothels, strange drugs, other unsavory devices.
Brothel, strange drugs. Where was this place?
It was the barge.
the
Paradise Barge.
that
That
sank.
boat that's gone.
The sank. And I say, good riddance. Good riddance. That's what I'm saying. It's a Rastal's judgment.
No. Hey, buddy.
A black Maga got her. Got her good.
Yeah.
No. Does anybody remember if the lamia...
The man kind of stands up and he goes, I don't pay to drink and be yelled at for my decisions. He throws a couple coins on the table. Take care of yourself, Keskers. I'll see you around if this rain doesn't wash us all away. And the man kind of storms out and back into the rain that you were talking to. Well, that is the town in a nutshell. Everyone's on edge. Between the rain, the rangers, missings, and now, well, the sinking of the paradise.
Well, we're trying to get to the bottom of this
I'd like to-
missing.
So one thing, as he's leaving,
Oh boy.
Gwildor, as he gets up to walk away and he's turning, there's like the wind from the door kind of swirls around him. And as it does so, you see it sort of swirls around the cape, like the nape
Is
of
he
the
with us now?
Who?
I was in
he
the-
was in.
Oh, well,
he
never
was
mind.
in
Gwildor
his
doesn't
I
room.
don't
see
see
shit.
shit.
Yeah.
So let me roll for
Well,
So-
to be fair, Derek,
you
though,
don't see anything.
well,
If I,
you didn't know what I was going to be divining while I was in my bedroom.
Okay. Well, were you physically standing in the room?
I would have had a clairaudience and clairvoyance in the room, yes.
Okay. How does that work?
Spooky.
So wait, you're not in the room, but that's what you're doing in the room?
That was one of the things I was going to do. I was going to check out that bar.
Okay.
And then I was also going to try and do a clairaudience and clairvoyance in the mayor's house to see if this mayor is truly trustworthy.
All right. Well,
And if I need to change locations, I have invisibility prepared and I'm ready to dimension door out of this inn, unbeknownst to others. I am very prepared for
We noticed.
divining some
As
things.
an
I'm
alternative.
yeah, so clairaudience has a range of about 500 feet.
Right. So I
that's-
don't know if I'm close enough for that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally fine. It's
Okay.
in the last 10 minutes. It can't move, but you can hear through the ear as if you're using your audience senses. That's clairvoyance and clairaudience. And clairvoyance does the same thing. Now, the duration is 10 minutes. The casting time is 1 minute. So you can cast both of those. It's
Yes.
fine.
Yeah, and I was going to cast
Right.
see invisibility on myself, clairaudience, clairvoyance.
All right.
So yes, I would see that.
All right.
in.
So you did.
if
Bravo,
this all
sir.
happened within 10 minutes.
It did. It did.
Yes.
So while the man is, maybe you have a different viewpoint.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
so you're kind of like up high.
Yeah,
you
I have
know,
magical sensors in the room.
Yeah, you're kind of like looking like security cam footage. And as the man's walking out, you can see as the wind blows around the nape of his neck that he has a tattoo on the back of his neck, like just below his like third vertebrae,
Mm,
Okay.
7-pointed sahedron.
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah, now not carved. It's like a tattoo.
Right.
Which would refer back to her note potentially of the better way of more elegant way of marking.
And then he storms out into
Or,
the storm.
or it's the stamp to get in the bar.
I was gonna if
So, anyways, that's our town right now. If you are here from Magnimar, well, I'm happy for it. Turtleback Ferry is a blue collar, run grungy little frontier town, but it's good and honest people here. Aside from this nasty business with Paradise and Lucrecia, Erastil rests her soul. But again, I feel like she was a bad influence here, and I'm happy to see her go. I hate to say it, but I'm happy to see her go. And I think the mayor is too. But it seems like we've traded one devil for another. These infernal rains, and I'll take it back. I don't know what happened up at Fort Rannick, and I don't know where the Order of Black Arrows, why they haven't responded, and what happened to the expedition party we sent. But I would gladly take back Lucrecia and her Paradise if it meant that the Black Arrows were back in contact. That scares me more than anything.
What is the timing between Paradise sinking, the rains drastically starting, and the people disappearing?
I mean, yeah, kind of all around the same time, but I would say that people have started disappearing more over the last couple of months.
Okay.
Mm.
And the Paradise was in the last couple
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing with the rains. They've really started kicking up, I would say, over the last few months. Normally, these rains don't even start until the deeps of winter, but they started in late fall, and then they've only been growing more intense. Now, I've been here for a while, but not long enough. But some of these old timers, people who make their living in the wilds, living every day, they tell me this rain is not natural. These winds, there's something foul on the air coming. They say it's coming from up in the Storeville.
So we've heard.
All right.
Well, your food,
Mm.
Berthan D returns. Your pheasant, your potatoes, your greens.
Mm.
I hope you guys enjoy. You guys got rooms next door?
Yes.
You?
Hopefully you didn't get taken too bad, but you have to understand that Orlandi's been under a lot of pressure.
Oh, she was charging us a lot. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, what should be the reasonable rate?
Well, during the winter time, during normal busy season, I don't want to put anybody else out. Whatever he charged you, I'm sure it was a fair price.
Seemed fair. All right, I guess we eat and go back to Gwildor
Well,
if
all
he's
right.
there. But
So, Gwildor, we will, as the group eats and
Really enjoys their non-bland food.
I said, do you guys recall knowledge? Is a lamia a shapeshifter?
no, not that I remember. I failed my recall knowledge check on her.
I believe
Okay.
you did, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I
mean,
knew nothing.
They are a
except
very
she's
rare and
snake.
ancient creature. So
Because that's why I asked the description. Because if they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, humanoid snake.
Well, I didn't know
like-
she tucked it in the
Yeah.
dress.
What kind?
She's wearing a corset. And,
I mean-
where's she gonna put it?
Instead of a dress.
I mean, a 10-foot long snake woman person tucking it up. in
Yeah,
her
it
dress.
ain't happening, but
Hey, man, you can make it work.
More likely, she's a spellcaster with powers of illusion if they are not.
that is a
shapeshifters.
possibility. Yes, absolutely, and that's why I was wondering to recall
Yes.
knowledge on it. But
But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
But
know.
before we go to your divinations in the mayor,
Yes.
the one remaining gentleman in the bar kind of comes over. He goes, "So you are from Magnimar, then?
We
we just came from there.
yeah, we
yes.
just came from there.
I see. Who sent you then? Groberos or the council? I used to live in Magnimar before I came up here about 10 years ago. This is the half-elf guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, everyone's got their stories, their black magas and all that other stuff. And I don't know about what happened to the paradise. I admit I've been there before, but it was too much for me. My sensibilities. I just like a simple place to drink, you know? Still,
Yeah.
everyone's been talking about this and that, but my money is on the Grauls.
You think they sank the boat?
No. I'm saying I don't know what caused that. Probably just things got
Oh,
out
the
of control.
Grauls taking the people.
Yeah. Everyone's
Oh.
talking about all this craziness and all this other stuff, people disappearing. And not just them that are going into the deep woods, you know? I'm talking about fishermen, travelers, people out on the roads.
Keepers.
And my money is just on the Grauls. That family is not right. They got ogre blood in them.
Mm.
Oh,
And once you get ogre blood in you,
no coming back.
there's no coming back.
No, I know that.
Yeah, those folk up there that live in those, I've heard bad stories.
Oh,
What's the story on that guy that just walked out? You know anything about that dude? He seemed kind of rude.
I think I've never caught his name, but no, I mean he's just one of many.
Okay.
A furrier, I think, traps and comes back.
You know something about the fur business? Didn't you have a place back in
Yeah.
Sandpoint?
So
Oh, I
many
think I've heard
furs.
about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, world renowned.
Yeah, the fur mill, right?
All
The
right.
hide mill.
So, Gwildor,
Yes.
meanwhile, back in your room, you observe this. The man leaves, but
Mhm.
your clairaudience spell is trapped on the room, so you can
Yep,
see that.
yep.
After 10 minutes, it leaves as you watch the knights finish their meal.
Yep.
What would you like to do next?
Then I will use my drain bonded item power
Okay.
on both my 3rd and 4th level spell to regain clairaudience and clairvoyance.
Okay.
About how far away is the mayor's house as it was indicated to us?
Well,
Do
you
I
don't.
need to change location?
It's probably it's within 500 feet.
All right, then I'm just gonna aim for the
Well, it turns out.
main entryway.
Yeah,
or-
it turns out the mayor's house is also the church of Erastil.
Oh,
and,
all right.
and the largest building in town.
Perfect.
Yep.
So I will
Big
put them
room
in
you
like
could be in.
the main large chamber and see what I can see and hear from there, and then perhaps find a way to, or if I have to wait till tomorrow, or if I can use resolve to get the spells back, to check out other rooms if there are any.
Yeah, so the Church of Erastil seems to be it serves as both its religious center and its town hall. And as you sort of cast clairaudience and clairvoyance into there, you can see there is a balding, middle-aged, maybe pushing into his 40s, late 40s man, deep in prayer, set before a altar of Erastil, praying quietly, his voice barely audible as he whispers out prayers for guidance, deliverance, and aid.
Seems pretty legit. Any other like doorways, people in the room?
I mean, there's the main double doors that lead into the
Yeah.
into the church, and then there's a couple other side doors that probably lead into, small rectories and other areas within the church. But it looks like this place serves as both and of course, Rastal is the god of civilization, so it's kind of like a dual purpose town hall and church at the same time. So
Okay.
there's like a podium up on top, there's an altar, pews, basically like a church. A couple of narrow windows.
Yeah. So clairvoyance, clairaudience is pretty weird with the targeting of
Yep.
things. What would happen if I were to say I want to do clairvoyance in the basement of the church?
Yeah, so you got to have some idea that something's there to be able to cast clairvoyance.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't know that there's a basement of church.
Right.
or
Well,
something.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't know, but there is one.
Yeah,
and I,
no, that
okay.
would not work.
All
Yeah.
right. That's what I figured.
You saw that
But-
building, you knew kind of where it was, so
Yes,
you knew
yeah,
where
yeah.
to send your magical sensor.
Yep.
So it's just like teleport.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I teleport into the secret vault.
Yeah. This one
What
just
would that-
specifically says you don't need line of effect.
Right, exactly.
So that you can
which is
actually use it.
right. But like if you were standing in front of a door and you had no idea what was beyond the door, you could cast your clairvoyance
Other
beyond
side
the
of the
door
door, right.
because you have something very specific to send.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right. So the group finishes their meal and returns to the Turtle's parlor. Again, it's been a long voyage by barge, and you guys are ready for a good night's sleep.
Excellent.
Night, guys.
All right. So we're going to wrap up there.
Mm-hmm. Short session today.
Short session today as we kind of break in our new studio. But the group has made their journey to Turtleback Ferry, and already they can see the growing signs of discontent. And Gwildor has made a somewhat disturbing discovery using his magical powers of divination that a member of the town seems to be marked with the Sihedron rune.
Perhaps even a sympathizer.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with the Sihedron?
Yeah.
7 stars. Who cares?
Meanwhile,
fine.
it also
It's fine.
seems that the individual who you came here to discover and stop apparently has died.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Quote,
throwing me
unquote,
off.
I definitely
died.
Problem
believe that.
solved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Let's pack
We
it up and go home.
Pack it up and go home.
Nonetheless, maybe it's your time in Sandpoint, but it definitely seems like there are some good people in this town, and you are definitely, moved by their plight and the fact that the rains are coming, that the attacks by something in the woods and the nearby mountainsides have increased. The fact that you're this close to the territory of the ogre clans and beyond the giants and the missing order of black arrows all suggest that you've come to the right place. This seems like not only is this a town in dire need of heroes, but it also seems like in your quest to prevent Karzoug's return, you've come to the right spot. So, before we go, we got a contest winner to give.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
that's right.
So,
Indeed. So let me pull up the link to our YouTube here.
yeah, so while Tim figures that out, last time we did a quick update video, and we announced that we were going to be giving away a set of arcane spell cards.
Aw.
We had about, I think, 24 entries. So you have a really good chance of getting
Very
picked.
good.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and get that name here in a minute, and we're going to get a new winner. But as we, find out who our new winner is, of course, this is Chapter 3. This is the new studio giveaway series.
That's
So
right.
that means we're going to give away something else.
Oh my god! Every time I come over here, you're giving away something.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
I know.
We're giving it away.
What's
I'm
it going to
ready
be
for our
this
winner.
time?
All right.
Oh, wait,
Our
wait, wait.
new winner is this week for the arcane spell cards, Alphonse Soups.
Yes, I love it.
Alphonse Soups.
Alphonse Soups.
Also, you don't need to drum roll.
We can
Oh,
add
you
in
have
post.
the drum
I
roll.
have actual
Oh, yeah.
sound effects.
Oh my gosh!
we can do it in post.
We can
My
always
bad.
do it in post.
All right. we
What
can do
was
post.
the
All right.
comment?
Yeah.
The comment is, I'm currently GMing P2E and brought a bunch of friends over to the system. I knew I wanted to start playing / running campaigns a few years ago and had played like 2 sessions of Pathfinder 1E. But it was kind of overwhelming to see how much material was already out there to learn all the existing systems. Second edition was launching at about the time, so I got in on the ground floor and have had a great time. Thanks for that, Alphonse.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
thanks
that's
for the
awesome.
story. Yeah,
That's
awesome.
great.
So, of course, Bob will be reaching out to you through our YouTube account. We'll probably leave you a comment on your message so
Yep.
we can get in contact with you. But once we get that connection made, we'll get your address. We'll ship that out to you at our expense, as long as you're within the continental U.S., as we say in our contest guidelines. And we'll get that out to you as our winner. So, if you stuck with this video for this long, our new giveaway is going to be what do we got left?
I don't know. There's a whole
There's a lot.
stack of
All right,
stuff.
so we just did the arcane.
Yeah.
We'll do the primal.
Primal.
There you go. All right, so we're gonna give away the primal spell cards, which I'll put here. Primal spell cards. These are awesome. Again, it's the same thing as the arcane spell cards, but they're with the primal spells. So if you're a druid or say an elementalist sorcerer,
Yeah.
this could be tremendously useful for you. Get all the information from the core rulebook and all the spells. So as before, the contest is open to any of our subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed. You gotta like the video, and then you're gonna leave a comment below. And the comment below this time is: are you a spellcaster type of player, or are you a melee martial fighter kind of kid?
Yeah, let
Ooh.
all those Burl fans
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah.
That spellcast and sorcerer is the way to go.
Third option for me, the local Gish. Do you like the Gish?
Yeah, well, all right, that's cheating, right? Like,
Is it though?
All right, fine. All right. So, do you like spellcasters? Do you like non-spellcasters, or do you tend to
Mixture.
play a mix? Like, I can tell you straight up, I'm sure they.
Spellcaster.
Yeah, I'm a spellcaster. Given the choice, I will always be a wizard, or a cleric, but nah, I'm not lying.
The farthest I
It's
go is
usually a
ranger.
It's a
wizard.
wizard.
And even when I am a martial character, it's always a martial character with a spellcasting
Yeah,
background.
with some amount of
In
spells.
Pathfinder 1, I played, I think, 3 paladins
Yes.
because they had spellcasting.
Druid.
But
and one of which was a summoner Gestalt.
right, yeah. And then
Or
I
other
also
way
played,
around.
and then my casters were, I had a wizard, I had a summoner, I had another wizard. So I've had a ton of wizards and a ton of paladins. Actually, I'd say that wizard, summoners, and paladins is mostly what I've played.
Have you
Pathfinder
played
1.
a druid?
No, never played a druid.
Oh,
You know, I don't like the divine primal spell listing as much. You know, it's just not. It's never been my thing.
As we give away these
Morph-
primal
morphing
cards.
into big,
All right, so
big dinosaurs.
all right,
and
not
monsters?
to get off on a tangent here, right? But I get really into the role playing of my spell casting. When I'm a wizard, it is, you know, for a lot of people, power fantasy. You know, that's why we play these games, right? Is this idea that I'm this awesome guy who can carve through people with swords. You know, for me, it's like I like to think about like what my caster could do, but like if it was real life, you know, like I can spy on my enemies, or I could spy on, you know, my friends and find out what they're really saying about me. You know,
Watch the
using-
boys.
using my spellcast,
Yeah,
right?
right.
No,
Some
so
shit.
a long running joke between my buddy and I is that if we got superpowers, he's like, that would suck because you would inevitably become a villain and I would be a hero and I'd have to stop you because you would become a villain. And so when I'm a wizard, what I like about being a wizard is you get these magical powers, but you're not answering to a higher power. When you're a cleric or a druid, you're getting your spells from your god or from nature, right? Like there's sort of like, you still have kind of a boss.
Yeah.
But when you're a wizard, you've just done the work to be able to manipulate reality and it's yours to reshape.
Yeah, and
Power.
taking a step
Yeah.
further from a wizard and a sorcerer, I don't have to study any dumb books and figure out what thing I want to know. It's just imbued naturally.
Right.
And I just,
That is true.
That is
man,
true.
Fireballs come
And
up.
that's where it's so great. That doesn't appeal to me. I like
Right.
the fact that you have to study, that you have to learn. I always joke around, like I was like, if I was Harry Potter and I got picked to go to Hogwarts,
Oh my god.
oh my god, he's like, I don't want to study this spell. It's like you're a wizard, dude.
Like, bitch, that can make you fly. Why the fuck wouldn't you study that?
And I just
Port
want to hit
keys.
things.
Yeah, so you're
Apparating?
Right.
Come
Yeah.
on.
so you're a martial guy for sure.
And I play a ranger in our other one, and I find that actually pretty nice too. It's tiny bit of spell casting, but mostly melee.
Right.
And
Now,
that's
Matt,
martial for
you're
me.
playing a sorcerer
Yeah.
very famously here, but your first character was a barbarian.
Oh.
You also very famously played a dragonborn ranger
Mhm.
as well as a tiefling warlock.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
where do you stand?
It's nice here because I like having just like the innate sort of elemental. You know, he's an elemental. It's just like it's not a thought. It's not a. I'm not wise. I'm not thinking about what I need to cast for this adventure. It's just like this is a shit I can channel, man. Here's a fucking fireball. You know, and I really like that. I like that. It's a lot of fun.
So do you think generally that you like spellcasting more than you like being a fighting type character?
Oh, so it depends. Like I really like the rogue because you can stack a lot of things, and if it gears itself where you can't stack a lot of things and it's very conditional and things don't work out, spells just seem to just automatically work. So that's a nice thing about playing a spellcaster.
Yeah, it
Just
turns
like,
out.
yeah,
when
fireball.
you point, you don't have to do a whole lot of subtlety. Nick,
Yeah.
you're too early to the game, Nick. So.
No, I know I'm too early, but I've always been, to his point, the rogue. Just the concept of it and being able to take all those, that jack of all
Yeah.
trades, and kind of complexity of it
Sure.
has always
Yeah, and
interested
then
me.
if you can stack the cards right,
Yes.
like he's flat-footed and he's flanked and he's not
Absolutely.
paying attention, plus 10d6 or something.
That's
you know?
Flat-footed and flanked are the same thing.
Well,
basically.
Right. I hate rogues, and I never play them, and I never will.
no,
And
you
I
are
love
definitely
rogues.
a wizard without.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I
question.
can see
Like,
it 100%.
No, but I would
Yeah.
play a fighter 10 times before I would play a rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, because fighters are broken.
If I
Fighter's gonna fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fighters gonna fight.
Fighters can fight.
All right, so new contest, primal spell cards. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, all that jazz. But leave a comment below with whether you're a spellcaster or a martial character, or are you are you
somewhere in
Or the,
between.
Are you
the
topping out
secondary,
at-
like, like
yeah.
a druid?
Are you
something-
indecisive as fuck?
Right, yeah, exactly. So that was going to bring us to the end of episode 20. Again, it's our first session back, so we're easing into things.
It's a good milestone.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
episode 20 in a new place.
Episode
yeah.
20, the beginning of chapter 3.
Yes,
Oh, I'm
yes.
feeling good, boys.
Yes.
Going
So,
well.
and again, I think we're all been, completely amazed at just how many responses we get, how many likes we get, how many views we get. It's absolutely completely crazy. And, we're about halfway there even to starting to get money from YouTube. And that's on subscribers. In terms of watch hours, you guys put in the hours.
Absolutely.
We've got
in the work.
we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of hours watched, which is one of the necessary qualifications to become.
Which is
that's
it's
insane.
insane. Yeah,
oh,
it's
insane,
incredible. Like,
incredible.
So
Yeah.
thank you all.
Yeah. So
Yes.
absolute thank you all.
Thank you.
And and again, I want to say thank you to Danny for sticking with us through 19 episodes. And
Absolutely.
it was tough for him being remote, and it was awesome that we were able to play with him while he was deployed. We knew going in that it might not,
He missed some here and there because of the army and John.
yeah, but we knew that there was always a chance that he could end up, being deployed or being, otherwise unavailable. So, we wish him the best of luck, and we look forward to seeing him in the future. We'll get him in here. He's still a knight emeritus.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to some. We're gonna have to make some adjustments from the pentagon to a hexagon. But I'm
Right.
looking
It's Tail
forward to
3.0.
some-
Villic may
Yeah.
yet come back and
Yeah.
appear out of thin air in the middle of a combat, and
Right.
we just never knew he was following
Yeah.
us.
He
He
himself.
is really
he is
quick.
very, he is very,
He's
very,
very
stealthy.
sneaky.
We
Yeah.
would be as surprised as our enemies.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wait, he's used the bat cape and he's been up there the entire time?
I told you, nobody looks at the ceiling.
So, next week, tune in as the group begins to explore the region around Turtleback Ferry. And I'm sure from the rumors that you've heard in town, there's going to be some
No,
fights.
it's completely
Oh,
safe.
It's just-
Nothing to worry about. Everything is okay.
This
Yeah,
place is
Lucrecia
rife
died
with
in the
intrigue.
in the
Yes.
Paradise shipwreck. Well, I mean,
fine.
we're
It's
just
fine.
smooth sailing now.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right. So for the Knights of Last Call, I'm Derek Melenda saying thank you so much, and we'll see you again real soon.